like I said, back into game week preparation, our guys understand they've got a great challenge ahead. Got to have a great week of preparation. That started last night. We kind of jumped ahead of ourselves a little bit and got a Tuesday practice last night under the lights at 7 o'clock, which is what time, of course, we'll play on Saturday. So that was good. Got to come back and have a great day today. Our kids understand what the challenge they have. They got to have a great day every day of preparation to go up and play these guys. If you look at Cincinnati, they're an excellent football team. They're well coached. I think offensively it starts with that quarterback. He started getting into some rhythm against Navy, threw for over 300 yards against Navy on Saturday, and he's an excellent player. They got tremendous skill. Got a veteran offensive line up front, and they got excellent tailbacks. The one tailback, 5, he's been out since the Michigan game. Probably will be back against us, I would guess. So very aggressive on defense, very physical, tackle well in space. So like I say, it'll be a great challenge for us. I think it's a great game for us and our fans because they can get in the car and 2.5 hours they're up the road. So it'll be a great venue for our fans. It'll be a great venue for us, and we got to have, again, a great week of preparation preparing for this team.
Coach, in each game so far this season, you've sort of steadily increased your rushing output. What have you seen from the run game that's been impressive so far?
Well, I mean, we got to become more consistent, running the football offensively, and you can't become one-dimensional. You got to, again, take what the defense gives us, and we've done a good job of doing that in the past. We got to do a little better job of that right now. But, I thought that fourth quarter against Kent, our guys did a nice job of blocking them. I thought Tyler King came in and gave us a spark, and hopefully he can give us that same spark Saturday against a good defensive front.
I was going to say, what did Tyler's fourth quarter performance do to boost the confidence of the offense in general?
I think anytime, sometimes that tailback, you get a tailback in there that's an excellent back, and Keon's, don't get me wrong, I think Keon and I think Anthony at times, and even Knox, who looks like he may be back healthy now for this week. So, all those guys at times have made that offensive line good. But anytime you get a tailback, whether it be Devin Johnson or any of those guys we've had that are excellent backs, they make that offensive line look good at times. Those holes don't have to be quite as big. You don't have to hold those blocks quite as long. So if you got a guy that's talented back there, then they feed off each other, which is good.
Do you sometimes see that a kid just has it in the game as opposed to seeing it in practice?
Yeah, no, normally, Keith, but I've seen him have it in practice too. Unfortunately with him, he missed that 2-week stretch, because of that leg infection that he had. So, that being said, we saw what he had in preseason camp. We saw the way he worked all winter long, and that was, positive. So it didn't surprise me, when he got out there and did what he did. I felt like he had that in him, but you never know how freshmen are going to react out there for the first time with the ball in their hands. But normally the guys that are really good players, when you put the ball in their hands, they react pretty well, and I thought he did.
One thing when I talked to Tyree yesterday, he sort of echoed Chase's sentiment after the Kent State game that the offense is just 1 or 2 plays away from being great. Is that something you see them getting close to turning the corner there?
Well, I think we've done some really good things, and I think the thing that's going to be critical this week is we've got to put all 3 phases together. I think throughout those first 3 games, I think we played extremely well on defense at times. I think we played extremely well on special teams at times, and extremely well on offense at times. I think anytime you play a game on the road against a team like we're getting ready to go play, you better be the best team on the field that particular day and in all 3 phases. And that's got to be our goal this week, is to go out there and be able to execute in all 3 phases the way we're capable of. If we got that, we got a chance.
Do you ever feel like mistakes are magnified on the road?
I think mistakes are magnified anywhere, Grant. I think anytime you go on the road, you just you can't make mistakes anywhere. But you're probably right to an extent on the road because you're always going into some hostile crowds in some places there. And but I think anytime you go on the road, you better be a tough football team mentally, and you better take your leadership with you. If you do those 2 things, you got great leadership on the road, and you've got some toughness, then you got a chance. So it's important that we do both those things.
Do you think playing on the road early in the season and facing an already hostile environment helps them coming into this game?
Yeah, a lot of guys go on the road for the first time at NC State. I don't think it fazed them a lot. I think they went there to play extremely hard, but at times we made mistakes in that particular game that hurt us. So, we got to go play with the with the energy and the toughness that we played with. But we got anytime you go into on a road trip or anywhere against a good football team, you can't have the number of mistakes and penalties and that type of thing. You can't walk out there with a win. So it's going to be important we go there and take care of the ball and play mistake-free football to have a chance to go get that win there.
Mentally speaking, your team having seen so many diverse kinds of schemes offensively, defensively, what does that do for the flexibility of you guys mentally?
Well, I think it's all about preparation, and I think the good thing this week too is we've had a couple of weeks to prepare against these guys. But we've kind of seen it all those first 3 games. These guys are pretty a little bit similar to us offensively, so we go against each other a lot, in practice. But they're spread off. A quarterback makes them go. I mean, he throws it, and he's involved in the run game at times, and so they do a great job. The biggest thing they do, or not the biggest thing, one of the things they do extremely well is a screen game. I mean, you go turn that Michigan tape on and watch them. They get the ball at the perimeter on those receivers, and they had 1 touchdown against Michigan and did a great job with the screen game. So we got to make sure we're well prepared for that. But they run the football extremely well, and like I say, they got excellent skill guys. And I thought against Navy, they started, they had guys running open at times and weren't throwing and catching the first couple games. But unfortunately for us, against Navy, it looked like they started to click and getting through for over 300 yards in that particular game. And looks like the receivers and the quarterbacks got on the same page there.
You and Fickle are both from the Urban Meyer coaching tree. What is it about Coach Meyer that helps get guys ready to become head coaches and be successful in that venture?
Well, I think number one, I mean, you just watch the way he goes to work every day, where he holds people accountable, for what they're doing, whether it be coaches or players. I think he understands it's a personnel-driven game. That's where it starts. You better recruit. You better have players, to start with, and then I think he does a tremendous job of developing players and coach them extremely hard. And they're a physical team. They're a tough team, and you turn that tape on and you watch your kickoff lineup. They're just very similar to what we do. So I'm sure a lot of the things that he's doing there at Cincinnati are carryover from what they did at Ohio State, which is what Urban, of course, did at Ohio State, and he did at Florida prior to going there. So, again, they're extremely well coached, and he does a great job with them.
Defensively, you guys are top 10 in the nation in sacks. How do you feel like that defensive front builds off each other and sort of works as a unit?
Well, I think that's it's going to be important we get some pressure on the quarterback Saturday. But I think our defensive staff have done a great job of, if you look at getting our personnel matchups or getting our guys that can rush the passer lined up in certain situations. And I think you see a lot of different guys in there, whether it be Durant, you got C. Dozier in there in some certain situations, and just Brian Bees, and trying to get the best athletes we have on the field in positions where they can rush that passer. And I think our defense again has done a good job of getting that done. But we're going to have to. That's going to be a critical deal for us, on Saturday night, is to be able to get some pressure on that quarterback.
You guys captains this week?
Captains for this week will be Chase Hancock on defense. Will be Chocolate Wilson on special teams. There's a guy that's done a tremendous job for us there, and Levi Brown will be the offensive captain. Glad you reminded me of that. I forgot all about it.
We'll talk a little bit about Chocolate. He's kind of been under the radar, and he's an upperclassman now.
Yeah, there's a guy that's accepted his role. He's accepted his role extremely well. He's a leader out there as far as the special team unit's concerned. He's a guy that's already graduated. I think he's working on his MBA right now. He's working on his master's in business, and just a tremendous kid that he's got a great mom in Myrtle Beach, and he just he decided to come back and help the team any way he could, and his role was to be a special team player. And you saw him run down there against Kent State last couple of weeks ago, made a lot of plays on special teams, one on the punt, one on the kickoff. So he's a good addition for us.
When you look at the tape that Cincinnati had against Miami, Ohio, how much do you take from that game?
Well, I think you take a lot from. I think you take a lot from every tape you look at. And, that was a heck of a ball game. That was really a close game, and Cincinnati found a way to win that thing at the end. Miami was up a couple touchdowns there with not a whole lot of time left in the game, and found a way to get them stopped and intercepted the ball there with about 1 minute and 16 seconds left to run it in the end zone there to win the game. So, one thing I do take from that is their team. They continue to fight. They're a team that'll fight and claw and scratch and do whatever it takes to win football games. And did the same thing at Navy last week. I mean, that Navy game last week. You look the last 2 or 3 minutes of the game, they're still in that football game. So they find a way to fight and scratch and stay in it, and they found a way to win the one at Miami there at the end, which was good for them.
Do common opponents help like that, or is it just each game stays?
Well, I think you can get a little bit of an idea of how you stack up. Maybe you stack up against them personnel-wise because you played that particular team. We played Miami, and we have a pretty good understanding of how their offensive line, how good they are, and defensive line, how corners, that type of thing. So, I think we had a pretty good idea of how Miami's was as far as personnel goes, so we can kind of get an idea how Cincinnati matches up with Miami as how we'll match up with Cincinnati. So I think it does help you to an extent to play a common opponent.
Okay. Are you already confident that in this team that it shows the maturity that maybe you didn't have last year? These guys will go and treat it as a business trip?
Yeah, I don't have any question this team. I mean, like I say, I like this, just through what I've seen and, the leadership we've got on this team, the way they went to work last night, I think there's no doubt in my mind they're going to go there and play their tail off. I don't have any concerns at all about this team as far as them showing up prepared to go play. They'll do that, and hopefully that's good enough. I think it will be.
Coach, talk about leadership. Who are the guys that are really the leaders of the team?
Well, I think if you look at the, we've had, if you add Chocolate and Smock, you probably help me with the math here, but I think Smock's probably the wrong guy to ask for help me with the math, right? But if you add Chocolate and you add Levi Brown, I think that's 10 total different captains for going on 4 games. So, I think those 10 guys are just to have that many going into the 4th game of the year that had the ability to be captains tells you a little bit about how the leadership is starting to develop on the team, from Chase Hancock to Artise Johnson to, Ryan B to, all those guys defensively, and then Levi and Marcel and Tyree and, Levi and as far as the Ryan Yurachek. So, I think that part of it, which is important because, all the great teams I've ever been around, that team has taken ownership in the team. And that starts to happen when you get that type of leadership on your team. That's important. It happens for this team, too.
Going up against NC State, how do they help prepare you for Cincinnati? I know that Cincinnati's got some size, but they're also athletic in a lot.
I think probably, NC State's front had a tremendous front seven. I think, Cincinnati athletically are similar to those guys NC State has up front. So, having the opportunity to go up and block those guys against NC State and, give us our offensive line a little bit of an idea what they're going to get against Cincinnati because they're similar players. But, at the end of the day, you just got to find a way to get them blocked and offensively and find a way to get them stopped on defense. So that'll be our challenge.
Having a chance to match last year's win total before you even head into conference, but what do you think it says about the toughness of the guys that are still on this team?
Thank goodness that's I haven't thought a whole lot about last year, but to be honest with you, but the only thing we're concerned about right now is try to find a way to, this Cincinnati game's a big game for us because it's the next game. It's our next game up. It's number 4, and every game's a critical game, and it's just important that you focus on this particular game and be prepared to go play, and and our guys will be. So, we'll concern ourselves with that and just try to find a way to go win that game.
You have the off week to get healthy. How big of an impact does that have on you all?
Well, I think anytime, I mentioned, I think last week when we talked, it's with the way we came in for our camp, it was almost like a halfway point as far as number of weeks when the season started to when it's over. It's hard to believe, but we were up to 9 weeks to this point. Then it'll be 9 straight weeks after that. So, I think we get Obi back. I think Obi got cleared this morning, so it looks like he'll be back, be able to play this week if we can get him ready. And, I think, Dowry practiced, Stanley practiced yesterday. So I think for the most part, Knox practiced. So just about everybody that we had out, I think to this point, have a shot at getting back and playing Saturday, which is good because we're going to need them all.
If you get Stanley and Dowry back, do you sort of start to manage their reps because some of the guys behind them not only perform but perform pretty
Well, I
well?
don't think there's any question. If both of them do happen to get back, and you're still going to see Millette and Ulmer play, and Addison. All those guys, played at times and played well. So, any time the more guys you can play and play, the caliber of football you need to win the game, then you need to play those guys. So those guys will all play.
Is this the most depth you all have had, offensive line, defensive line in a while? Do you feel like?
I think I'm not sure offensively. Defensively, I think so. I think defensively, which I wouldn't have said that going in, at all. I was concerned about our depth, to be honest, going in defensively. But that move and B inside, and the emergence of Couch, Durant, and Dozier. 3 more guys at that Fox position, and now Durant's flopping and playing both sides. Because we can play tie inside. So I think with the emergence of those 3 guys, our defensive fronts, we're playing a lot of guys there, and that's been good for us. So, offensively, I'm not sure it's the most we've had, but probably a lot more we've had the last couple of years, probably.
Have you and Luke crossed paths before in any?
Some recruiting deals, and I visited, with Urban over there. I've been over there several times to Ohio State when he's been there. So, but he's, like I say, he's an excellent football coach. It's got an opportunity. He's done a good job with it.
With the bye week behind you, how do you assess the first 3 games?
Well, I think going in, I felt like I thought we played extremely hard. You know, I think the one thing we need to do is we need to become, again, more consistent in all three phases. And I mentioned, you know, when we started out here, I think now we're getting into our fourth game. We've got to hit on all three phases and be good in all three of them to accomplish what we want to accomplish. You know, we can't just, you know, play great defense and special teams and struggle on offense. We got to be able to do all three well. And when you get to this point, so that's going to be our goal this week, is try to be the best team we can possibly be for Saturday, because it's going to take that kind of effort.
Hitting on all three phases and playing consistently, is that mental reps, is that maturity, is that practice?
It's all the above. I think it's all the above. You know, it's just, you know, it's reps, it's preparation, it's, you know, it's everything that goes into it, and it's good players making plays, you know, and that's what it comes down to.
The stadium's been renovated, but you've been in that stadium before, haven't you?
I have, but it's been a long time. I can't remember the last time I've been in there, yes, but I don't remember. It's been a long time ago. Anything else? Thanks, guys.